Then said he unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand, and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. As for these 4 children, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. And the king communed with them. And among them all was found none like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king. And in all matters of wisdom and understanding that the king inquired of them, he found them 10 times better than all the magicians and astrologers that were in all his realm. And Daniel continued even unto the 1st year of King Cyrus.
We ask for a word of wisdom from our Heavenly Father in Yeshua's name. A word of wisdom. Revelation 13 actually says, Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600 and 6. So, how can the statue of Daniel, now Daniel was given the revelation of all the kingdoms of the world for all the duration of time. So how can Daniel's statue give us a second witness for what the mark of the beast is and how it will come about? In Daniel chapter 3, we have a king. His name is Nebuchadnezzar. This king is a type of Antichrist. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, now whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits, and he set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. So Nebuchadnezzar is a type of Antichrist, or Satan. So after he has this fabulous dream, he gets all lifted up in pride, and he builds the image of the dream, except it's entirely of gold from head to toe. So what does that mean? What is that a picture of? That this image was set up by Satan. It's picturing the rule over Jerusalem and the rule of the whole world, because the king of Babylon, he ruled the whole world at that time. And when Satan comes as the false Christ to rule the entire world, he also will set up a one-world system. This statue pictures rulership over the entire world, specifically Jerusalem. And when you get to the toes, which is Satan's kingdom, he sets up the one-world system. And that's what Nebuchadnezzar did. That was his job. And that's what the seal in Revelation chapter 6 says. When that white horse comes in, that's the false Christ. He comes with a crown on his head, and he comes forth conquering and to conquer. So that is why we know that when the one world system is set up, it is done by none other than Satan himself during his hour of temptation when he arrives to the earth de facto. Nobody else sets it up. There isn't a human or a man or a government or some rogue angels that are going to set up the one world system. It is defined and pictured in the book of Daniel as Satan himself, as he rules. Where is this one world system going to be set up? It's going to be set up in the plain of Dura. What does Dura mean? Dura means dwelling or inhabitant. So this gives us a clue as to the third 6 of the mark of the beast. Inhabitant is the 6th kingdom of this beast. As it is written in Revelation 17, and here in Daniel we have the second witness, which is that the 6th kingdom, which is the feet made of iron and clay, is those who rule over Jerusalem right now. It is the one that is existing right now. It is the 6th kingdom. We do not have a one world system at this point. the one world system is set up by the Antichrist when he arrives, not before. Not 1 second before he arrives does the one world system come into being. So according to Daniel, Nebuchadnezzar sets up the one world system, but it has to start with the sixth kingdom that is dwelling, Dura, in Israel. And this sixth kingdom is the foundation for the 666. And when the sixth kingdom comes into being, which it already has in 1948, like Christ said, learn the parable of the fig tree. You have to learn that parable. When that tree puts forth leaves, it's supposed to put forth fruit. But instead, it's just leaves. That's the kingdom. That's the sixth kingdom. Now, that does not mean the mark of the beast has happened yet, but that's the beginning of the mark of the beast. The beginning of the mark of the beast is when that kingdom is in Israel and ruling. And when Satan arrives, he's going to set it up 60 cubits high and 6 cubits wide. That is the first 2 sixes, and the third 6 is the kingdom that is already there. It's your third 6. 666 gives you the mark of the beast, and it gives you the timing of when the one world system will be set up. So, and where the one world system. It's not in the UN. The UN is not located in the plain of Dura. It is not the place of the false inhabitants of Jerusalem. So based on what we have here, the sixth kingdom is those that are dwelling in Israel. Now, since the sixth kingdom exists right now, those dwellers, those inhabitants, then what is next? The setting up of the one world system order by Satan in Jerusalem. That is the next step that will happen. It is not set up by rogue angels. It is not set up by human or man or any ruler, president that exists right now, or any human, even of the false seed line. It doesn't matter what seed line or who these men are, they are not going to set up the one world system. As it is written, the one world system is set up by Satan himself when he arrives at that exact moment. So that brings us to 666 as the one world order. It tells you where this one world order is going to be set up, in Jerusalem. It's not set up in the UN. It's not set up by the UN. It is set up in Jerusalem. So this leads us to our next question. What is the deadly wound to this system? The deadly wound has to be to one head. In Revelation it says only one head, which is one nation, receives the wound. And that would have to be Jerusalem. Because when you read in Isaiah 31, you see that God said he is going to defend Jerusalem. He's going to come down and defend Jerusalem. Well, when the false Christ comes, he's going to come on a white horse. He's going to copy the defense of Jerusalem that is written. And it literally says, as birds flying, in Isaiah 31:5, that this arrival by our true Lord is going to be copied as birds flying, and what flies is a fleet of ships. So he's going to come down suddenly and set up, heal that wound, and set up the one world system. So if we look at the 5 months, in light of the fact that King Nebuchadnezzar represents that time when Satan is cast to the earth, that would be, let me grab my highlighter here. So you see right here at the 1290th day. Now if you remember from Daniel 12:11, it says that the abomination of desolation will be set up on the 1290th day. And when he is set up, that is when he is set up in Jerusalem. He is set up there. He does not go there in hiding. It does not say that he will go there in hiding and then jump out. It says he will be set up at that point. And at that point, the deadly wound will be healed, and the hour of temptation will begin because the tempter is there. You can't have an hour of temptation without the tempter. So at that point, if the statue that Nebuchadnezzar put up pictures the image of 666, pictures the one world system, because the statue does picture rulership over the world. That's exactly what it pictures. Stemming from one place, the plane of Dura. That's your third component that gives you the third 6. The statue is 60 feet high, it is 6 foot wide, and the 6th kingdom is what sets this in motion at the 6th trump. So there you have all your 6s coming together at his arrival, and that this system is reared up at this middle of the week, if you will, or the middle of the last hour, which coincides with when he is cast out of heaven. Because if he is warring God in heaven, then he's not on the earth. He's nowhere near the earth. So when he is cast out and then he comes to the earth, he sets up the image, and he has the entire world. He heals the deadly wound. If you look at Isaiah 31, it says that those who are hoping, that is the nation of Israel, when he comes, they have a deadly wound because they tried to take the Temple Mount and start World War III. But he will come down and he will try to heal that. He will heal that wound, and the entire world is going to think he is the white horse, the Messiah. So as it is written in Isaiah 31, the Egyptians are picturing the locust army. The Egyptians have horses. The Egyptians have chariots. So does the locust army. And they are the ones that hopen. When Antichrist arrives, he hopens, he helps that one nation that had a wound. That is Jerusalem. And so that is how he arrives and sets up the one world system, the government of the entire world. And all the nations shall drink from that cup, as is written in Jeremiah 25. They all drink of that cup of wrath at the time that this abomination arrives. They do not drink of that cup of that wrath before he arrives, because they are not a one world system at that point. So that is how it all fits together with the 5 months.
After the number of the days in which ye searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. How long shall be the vision concerning the daily sacrifice, and the transgression of desolation, to give both the sanctuary and the host to be trodden under foot? And he said unto me, unto 2,300 days, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed.